So hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a comparison of 6 different glass protection products. So it's a mixture of sealant, a coating and also a water-repellent glass cleaner. So I'm going to be scoring them in each category, and the categories that I'm going to be comparing are ease of application, initial water behaviour, resistance to general maintenance wash products, so that includes an alkaline snow foam and a glass cleaner, resistance to de-icer sprays, the prices, and I'm going to be scoring each category and giving my overall scores at the end. So the products I'm comparing, first up it's Rain-X, everyone knows this, quite a common product, very easily available. Second one we've got is Angelwax H2Go, which I've heard very good things about. Third is GB Detailing Vitro Glass Seal. 4, we've got Pyramid Car Care's Glass Coating. 5, we've got Detailic Platinum Glass Seal. And 6, we've got Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner, which is a hydrophobic glass cleaner. I thought it'd be very interesting to see how this stacks up compared to some of the more heavy duty sealants and coatings on this list. So full disclaimer, I was sent GB Detailing's glass sealant and also the Pyramid Car Care glass coating for free. The Detailic Platinum Glass Seal I picked up in an Instagram giveaway, and the Chem Clearview, Angelwax H2Go and Rain-X I bought for myself. As always, I'm going to be giving my honest opinions, and this video is going to be very factual and testing based, so you'll be able to make your own conclusions as well. So I first just wanted to start off by showing you the preparation process that I used on the glass. So I first started by using Garage Therapy Decontamination Shampoo in a spray bottle, diluted 1 in 10. I just worked this in using a brush before I eventually just let it dwell for a few minutes and then rinsed it off. After that, what I did was apply the Garage Therapy Decon Shampoo again at that 1 in 10 ratio. I also used a clay bar on the windows as well, so this is Built Hamber's soft clay. I do have a full video showing this process in a bit more detail step by step, so I'll link that in the description if you might find it helpful if you're applying any of these sealants in the future. Once I'd done that, I then moved on to the water spot remover. So this is one by Tack Systems, and I worked that in just using a microfiber towel. And the final step was just to use Chem panel wipe to clean off any residue that might be remaining and to leave the finish really sort of squeaky clean before applying any of the sealants and coatings. So now on to the first category of the comparison, and that is ease of application. So first up we've got Rain-X. Now as you can see, you sort of apply it using circular motions onto a cloth, it says on the instructions, but personally I just like to use a microfiber applicator pad. You can see as it's being applied that some of it does evaporate, but there is still a residue left on there. Now I think that the disadvantages of this particular is that the flip cap design means that there is a tendency to kind of over apply the product. It does make it a little bit more difficult really. I think another disadvantage of it is that it's actually quite difficult to buff off. When I initially buffed it off, I thought it came off quite easily, but on closer inspection, there's actually residue left behind, and that bit was a lot harder and you kind of had to scrub at the surface to get that off properly. So next up we've got Detailic Platinum Glass Seal. Now this says to apply 3 to 4 sprays to an applicator and then to sort of rub it onto the surface, let it dry for approximately 15 minutes and then buff away the haze with an additional microfiber cloth. Now one of the main things that I noticed about this was the scent. It actually smells like kind of a vanilla coffee sort of scent, which is really nice to use. The residue came off reasonably easy. It was definitely easier than Rain-X, but there's definitely easier ones that I have used as well. Next is the Pyramid Car Care glass coating. Now this comes with this applicator block. You essentially apply around 8 drops to the block itself and massage it in using a crosshatch pattern. Then you leave it for 15 seconds. You then level the product using very light pressure and a microfiber towel, and then as soon as you've done that you can buff away any remaining residue. Now this one, the residue was really easy to buff off. It's a very nice product to use, and I think there's definite bonus points for it being such a quick process as well. Next up is the GB Detailing Vitro Seal, which is again a very, very easy product to apply. You spray it onto your applicator, massage it in, and then it says to wait for 6 to 8 minutes before buffing away any remaining residue. Now this one, you can notice that it flashes off very, very quickly. And when it came around to actually buffing off the residue, I could really kind of not see any at all. So I did it, of course, to follow the instructions, but in terms of buffing it off, very, very straightforward, and there's barely anything to actually remove at this stage. Next up is the Chem Clear Vision Glass Cleaner. Now this is incredibly straightforward to apply. It's just like a glass cleaner, so spray it onto your cloth or the glass directly and buff it in. It flashes off reasonably quickly and doesn't leave any streaks behind, so a very, very easy one to apply. And finally we've got Angelwax H2Go, which is a very, very easy one to apply. You essentially just use it the same as the other products, so spray it onto your applicator pad, rub it into the surface, and then this one says to wait 10 to 15 minutes before buffing off the residue. I waited 15 because it was a reasonably cold day. It was 8 degrees when I was applying this, so I wanted to give it the best chance at bonding. It left a very, very thin film behind, but nothing that wasn't very easily removed with a microfiber cloth, and didn't leave any kind of streaks or residue behind. So for the overall scores, I gave Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner the highest score, being the easiest to apply, just simply being a glass cleaner. So that got 5 points from this round. The next I would say is GB Detailing's Vitro Seal. That one was really easy because essentially there wasn't much residue left behind whatsoever. Next was Pyramid Car Care Glass Coating, due to the fact that the residue was again very, very easy to buff off, and it was also the quickest product to apply. There was no sort of waiting around. It was 15 seconds that you had to actually hang about. Next we've got Angelwax H2Go, very easy product to use again. Next is the Detailic Platinum Glass Seal, as the residue was a little bit harder to buff off than the rest of them. And then finally we've got Rain-X, which I say was the most difficult in terms of residue removal and the flip cap design rather than a spray design. So now on to the initial water behaviour. So I applied these sealants to the car that we're seeing now in the exact same order as this, and I all let them cure for 72 hours before doing any of these tests. So that includes the chemical resistance test that you're going to see in a minute. And here you can see what the initial water behaviour was actually like. A very, very good performance from quite a few of them, so I'd say that the standout ones here for me are Pyramid Car Care, Rain-X and H2Go. So now you can see how the products actually sheet water, so another indication as to how well they're actually performing. I would say that Pyramid Car Care, Rain-X and H2Go were all doing very well here. And of course the glass cleaner was performing the weakest of them all. Didn't too much of a surprise. So one thing I did just want to draw your attention to was when you wipe them over with a damp microfiber towel, there was some water spotting by Rain-X, as you can see here. And then this was Angelwax H2Go, there was some but not quite as much. And then when I went to the centre, which was the Pyramid Car Care one, there wasn't any at all, so that really kind of helped me to judge which was my favourite out of them all. Particularly important when you're applying them to a windscreen, I'd say. So I'd say the best was Pyramid Car Care, closely followed by Angelwax, and then Rain-X, just because there was more water spotting, was a weaker one. So now on to the first round of the chemical resistance testing. So here what I did 5 rounds of this. So this is built hammer touchless at a 4% panel impact ratio. So I applied that all over, left it to dwell for 3 minutes and then rinsed it off so we could see whether there was any kind of hit after this stage. So as you can see here, Rain-X, Pyramid, H2Go were all performing as well as you could see originally. So GB Detailing was questionable as to whether there was a tiny bit of a hit at this stage, and the Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner had taken quite a lot of a hit at this stage, I would say. So then what I did was just dried it off and applied a glass cleaner to it. So for this I used Bouncer's Wax Glass Cleaner, which is quite a strong one. It does say on the bottle that you can dilute it for lighter cleaning, so I thought it'd be a good one to use. So once that had all flashed off, what I did was did another spray with the water so you could see whether there was any kind of degradation after the glass cleaner specifically. I would say here that you can see that Rain-X, Pyramid and H2Go are all performing very well. So is the Detailic Platinum Glass Seal. I'd say it was slightly slower, followed by GB and then by the Chem glass cleaner. So I repeated this after another round of both kind of the snow foam and the glass cleaner. And you can see that I'd say Detailic Platinum Glass Seal was starting to take more of a hit at this stage. Then after round 5 you can see the results here, so H2Go, Pyramid and Rain-X had no effect whatsoever, and GB Detailing was taking quite a lot of a hit, and so was the Detailic Platinum Glass Seal. Then what I did was apply Decon shampoo, so this was 50ml into 450ml of water, and I did 5 rounds of this, and you can see the results here now. When I did this, there wasn't a huge amount of difference in comparison to the previous rounds. It seemed that the ones that had already taken a hit continued to take that hit, but apart from that, there wasn't really sort of too much extra going on. So then I just went for it in a spray bottle so it wasn't being overly diluted, and that was in a 1 in 10 mix. So I did that round 10, and you can see here the results, but again, not really much to talk about here. The ones that were performing well were again Rain-X, Pyramid and H2Go, and they were all performing quite well here. I'd say that H2Go made a slight sort of degradation at this stage, but nothing horrendous. So I did 10 more rounds of that, and then this is 5 rounds of applying Green Star all-purpose cleaner at max concentration, and you can see here that they were so durable, these glass sealants, and you can see that they've all taken a hit at this stage. H2Go I'd say was taking the biggest hit out of the 3 that were remaining, followed by Rain-X and Pyramid. I just couldn't separate, so I had to sort of give them equal points. I really just couldn't choose. So they got 4.5 points each from this round, followed by Angelwax, H2Go. I'd say that these sort of 3 ones were the best at performing. Then the ones that were taking more of a hit quite early on were Detailic Platinum Glass Seal, GB Detailing Vitro and Chem Glass Cleaner performed very weakly, as we'd probably expect from this kind of testing. So what I also wanted to test was whether de-icers were making any sort of impact really on the sealants that we were testing here, because, you know, throughout winter you might want to use a de-icer, and if the sealant's going to take a massive hit from it, then it's just not going to be suitable for you potentially. So I used the sort of cheapest one I could find. I didn't want to pick anything that was going to be very nice on the glass. I wanted to pick something quite heavy. So this is the Carplan one you can just get from Poundland. I thought it would be a good one to test on this video. Not a particularly nice one, like I said, but I thought it'd be a good one to kind of choose. So here you can see sort of similar results. And I did 15 rounds of this and I just wasn't seeing any kind of impact, so I stopped after that. But what you could see here is that GB Detailing had started to take a little bit more of a hit. Pyramid and Rain-X, again, no hit whatsoever. And I'd say there was slightly slower sheeting from H2Go on this round. So here you can see the final results of this round. So again, joint first place for Rain-X and Pyramid, closely followed by Angelwax, H2Go. So I also just wanted to compare the prices of the different products. So I did a little bit of testing, and being all quite a similar consistency, we all take around the same amount of product to cover the same areas. I also worked out that it normally takes around 1 to 2 millilitres of product to cover a windscreen. However, there is a sort of tendency to over apply, particularly when using these kind of products. It's something I do myself, but if you're being very conservative, 1 to 2 mils is enough. So what I've done is, for the rest of these calculations, gone with a 2 millilitre sort of calculation to be kind of on the more conservative side. So starting off with Rain-X, you can get a bottle of this for £5 for 200 millilitres, which at 2 mil would give you 100 applications, working out as 5p per application. Next is Angelwax H2Go, which is £12.95 for a 250ml sample of it. Now that is 125 applications, which works out as 10p per application. We've also got GB Detailing's Vitro Glass Seal, which is £9 for 250ml. Again, working out 125 applications, so 7p per application. Next is Pyramid Car Care's glass coating. Now this is the most expensive per application, as you only get 30ml. So it's £18.95, which works out as 15 applications and £1.26 per application. Next is Detailic Platinum Glass Seal, which is £24.99, which is the highest upfront cost, but you get 100ml of that, working out as 50 applications, so 50p per application. And finally, the Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner, which is £7.50 for 500ml. So you get 250 applications, so by far the cheapest on this list at 3p per application. So going into the overall scores, taking the 5 points for this category is the Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner at 3p per application, closely followed by Rain-X, GB Detailing's Vitro Seal and Angelwax H2Go, not a huge amount difference between them all. Detailic Platinum Glass Seal is where it starts getting a little bit more expensive at 50p per application, and then significantly more expensive was the Pyramid Car Care glass coating. So what I also did was kind of total up all the different points for each category to kind of give you a bit of an indication as to which perform best overall. Now you've got to take these with a little bit of a pinch of salt because they were all scored evenly across the categories. There might be some categories for you that are more important than others, and potentially de-icer resistance might not be worth 5 points to you. So take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but overall the results were very, very close. So Pyramid and Rain-X both performing pretty equally, slightly better for Pyramid, but Angelwax H2Go was quite closely followed behind. But I would say out of those, anyone you pick out of those, you're probably going to get quite a good experience because they did perform very, very well on the chemical resistance test. Of course, the weakest was the Chem Clearview Glass Cleaner. I would personally only use that as to kind of maintain any glass sealants you've got on. On its own, it performs weakly, but when I've used it to top up existing protection, it's done quite well. So it looks bad on this test, but it, again, is going to really depend on how you use the product. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know in the comments which you like look of after seeing this, which categories are more important to you. Please let me know. And thanks very much. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a like, really helps to support the channel. Again, comment down below if you've got any questions about the process that I used. And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe for weekly detailing videos. I'm doing stuff like this all the time. So thanks very much again, and I'll see you next time.